to another Halloween edition of Game Sack.
I hope you're ready to be frightened because we've got a lot more scary games to show you tonight.
These games are scary. I mean, I don't get scared.
Really? I just got done with some trick-or-treaters. Fine, let's get the treats.
Okay, yeah, because these games are scary. You better get to bed early. So, anyway, let's take us to it.
Get out of the way, I got the new Bubsy. Oh, man. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, holy cow. Boy, I sure can't wait. Here we go.
What could possibly go wrong?
Alright, so this is Bubsy the Woolies Strike back. Now I am a huge Bubsy fan. When I was a little kid, I grew up playing the first two Bubsy games on my good old Sega Genesis, and I absolutely loved them, especially the first game. That one is by far one of my favorite games on my Sega Genesis console, so I cannot wait to play the newest Bubsy game. So without further ado, let's get going. So the basic storyline is that Bubsy is chilling in his home, minding his own business, when the Woolies, who are the main bad guys in the Bubsy franchise, decide to show up and steal Bubsy's most prized possession, a yarn ball called the Golden Fleece. And now Bubsy has to run around, take out the Woolies, collect yarn, and try to take back the Golden Fleece from good old Polly and Esther. So that's the basic storyline of the game. Pretty straightforward and simple, like the first game. However, I do wish that they would have added some cartoony animation, or something like that at the beginning, rather than the cardboard comic book look. But it's really not that bad, and we're not here to watch a movie, we're here to play a game. Huh. Anyway, let's check out the game. So the game consists of 3 areas, and each area is made up of multiple stages with a boss battle at the end, for a total of 14 stages. The first area takes place in the outdoorsy Northwoods forest setting, and I think it looks amazing. Being from Northwest Wisconsin, I love these types of settings. In the first Bubsy game, those were the stages that I loved the most, the ones that took place in the forest setting. And my favorite ones were the stages like Be Very Careful. Now, not only do they have the forest levels, but they also have the desert levels like they had in the first game. And the graphics in these stages also look really great. Now, one thing that's kind of funny is that the designers, or whoever, really seem to be obsessed with farms. Now, during the first area, I get it. It reminds me of living in Northwest Wisconsin. You know, a bunch of trees, water, and farms. And then when you get to the desert area, what do you see? Oh, a bunch of farms, of course, because why not? Okay, fine, I get it. There are farms and stuff out in the desert. I mean, Luke Skywalker had a farm out in the desert, so I get it. But it would have been pretty cool to see something different. The third and final area takes place up in space, and this is by far my favorite area of the game. I mean, just look at that. Absolutely beautiful and amazing. In the first game, you ran around on the Woolies ship, but this time it looks like you're in their actual city, and it looks amazing.
I like it.
And like I said, it is definitely my favorite area of the game.
I just love the smell of wool in the morning.
As far as the layout of the stages go, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, just go from left to right and you will make it to the end. As the game progresses on, the stages get a little more open-worldly, where the yarn balls and shirts are hidden farther up in the air or further down under the main path. Now you can actually fly through this game pretty quickly if you rush forward and don't really care about getting all the yarn and stuff. You could have this game beat in about 20 minutes or so, give or take. And that's been the main complaint about this game, is how short it is. However, if you do take your sweet little time and explore the stages and try to collect all the yarn and all the shirts and explore every nook and cranny and really sit back and smell the roses, you could probably put a good 5 to 6 hours in this game, depending on your skill level. And speaking of collecting yarn, some of the yarn are hidden in some pretty tricky places. Trying to get some of the yarn was a pretty good pain in the butt at first, especially this part. But if you keep trying and get used to the controls, eventually you will succeed.
What for?
Now, like I said, you can fly through this game pretty quickly, but if you just sit back, relax, and smell the roses, really take your time and enjoy the game for what it is, and explore these beautifully created, lush environments, I think you would enjoy the game a lot more. What the heck? Anyway, let's talk about a few other things. So like I said, the main bad guys are the Woolies, and you have a few different types. The main ones that just walk around, the ones wearing jetpacks and floating around, who after you jump on and disappear, will actually respawn. The ones using weapons, who to my knowledge so far cannot be destroyed. The robot-type Woolies, who look like knights, who will charge you like a jouster. If they crash, they will fall apart, or if you jump or pounce on them, they will also fall apart. But like the floating Woolies, they too will also respawn. And finally, the bosses themselves. Now, I don't want to spoil the game too much, but the boss battles basically consist of dodging their attacks, being patient, and waiting for the right moment to jump on the UFO. Other enemies include the bees, who were also in the first Bubsy game, which I think is cool, and the sand sharks, who also come from the first Bubsy game, except this time you actually see more of their bodies. And that's basically it. The first Bubsy game had way more enemies. Woolies that threw eggs, Woolies that threw cheese wheels, Woolies that shot bubbles, Woolies that shot lightning bolts, little UFOs, different types of food, beavers, spiders, and other random animals. So it's a little disappointing to not see as many different types of enemies in the new Bubsy game. Another thing that's missing are the bonus stages. The first Bubsy game had a stage where you were basically trying to collect yarn. The second game, Bubsy 2, actually had mini-games that you could play. In Bubsy, the Woolies Strike Back, however, it doesn't seem to have any bonus stages as far as I know. Maybe they'll end up patching the game or something eventually, but who knows. And another thing that disappointed me was the lack of death animations. The first Bubsy game, once again, had a lot of different death animations. But in this game, the only different death animation you get is when you get a game over. As far as the controls go, they have the regular jump and glide controls back, except this time they added a pounce. Now, I'm really not a fan of this move. Every time you try to attack the Woolies, you seem to overshoot them a lot. You really need to have pinpoint accuracy, but eventually you do get used to it. I just don't really like it. One thing I really do like, though, is having a double jump. If you jump and tap the glide button, you can do a double jump, which will help with some of the trickier spots. Now, those are some of the few disappointing things I have about the game, but other than that, I think the game is great. The design and look of the stages and levels are awesome, especially the city up in space. I also love that it's also like Mario in a sense, where you can rush through the game and do some crazy speedruns or what have you, or you can take your time and explore the stages and get some good gameplay out of it. And staying with the spirit of Bubsy, he talks a lot. As long as you make him in the options menu, which of course I do. And there are a lot of puns in the names. The Woolies Strike Back being like The Empire Strikes Back. Back to the Future, of course, being like Back to the Future. Plan 9 from the Outer Space, like Plan 9 from Outer Space, and many, many others. So that was Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back, the Purrfect Edition, and it comes with a few extra things. It comes with the original soundtrack, which is pretty cool. It also comes with Bubsy's business card and what they call a mystery postcard. And this is what mine looks like. Well, there you go. That was Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back, the Purrfect Edition, on the good old PS4. Now, me personally, I really did enjoy this game. I like that it was simple, straightforward, to the point, and it was not impossible to beat. Which, of course, brings out a lot of complaints about the game, and those complaints are that the game is way too easy. And I understand, I get it. The game is very, very simple and very, very easy. It would have been cool if they would have added a difficulty setting so that you could change it and make the game a lot more difficult. But they did not do that, and like I said, for me personally, I don't necessarily mind it. Now, there is another thing that I would like to address, and that is all the hate that Bubsy seems to get. And it all started way back with the original game. I don't really understand why there is so much hate. A long time ago, back in the 90s, people read in magazines and stuff that Bubsy was just a terrible game, and suddenly everyone's like, okay, I agree, and everyone just jumped on the hate train to automatically hate Bubsy, and I don't really get it. A lot of the complaints that people have about Bubsy actually happen in other games, but people don't ever really complain about that. One of the things that people like to complain about is the fall damage. Now, I get it. People hate fall damage in platformers. However, in the original Bubsy, there is a glide button, and Bubsy will glide, and you can use that to prevent the fall damage from occurring. It's basically just another gameplay mechanic, and it makes it a different type of game. But no one cares. They just want to complain about it, and a lot of people will refuse to use the glide button and fall down and splat, and then they're like, oh, well, look at fall damage, because those idiots don't want to use the glide button. And then people complain about like the level design and stuff like that, which I don't really get, because a lot of that level design is also based off of Sonic, because of the original Bubsy is pretty much trying to be a Sonic clone. But people will complain about the level design, but yet they won't complain about the level design in other games. People also complain about the controls. However, with the controls, you do have to get used to them. Once you do get used to the controls, they really aren't that bad. There are a lot of games out there that have controls that you have to get used to using, and then they get better. However, people don't complain about those games. It's like, holy smoke in a handbasket. With all the hate that Bubsy gets, I'm surprised that all this hate and negative energy does not manifest itself into some evil demonic spirit and go out and possess someone. I'm surprised that doesn't happen. But anyway, I love Bubsy, and I thought this was a pretty good game. So I'm going to sit back, relax, smell the roses, and 100% complete this game. Chris K. Boy, you know what? Every time I'm sitting here trying to do this and I'm trying to film and trying to get stuff taken care of, and what's he got to do? A bunch of racket and smacking and boopily doopily. Hey, you making a bunch of racket out here or what?
No, I'm just getting ready to go.
All right, well hurry up and come on then.
Okay, yeah, I'll just get my glasses from the...
What in the world? Hey, you sitting on the commode or what? Huh?
Hello, Janitor Jake.
What the heck are you doing?
I want to play the new Bubsy game. Can I play it with you? In the game room?
Nah, what the heck. Come on. You know, it sounds like you're getting a cold. Maybe a cough drop or two, huh?
Yeah.
All right, time to get back to the game.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you pumped?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's get to playing.
How am I gliding? I have no idea.
Bubsy is just a Sonic ripoff.
Goblin monster. Strike one.
The only thing worse than the enemies and the hazards in Bubsy are the physics.
No idea how I'm doing this, but I like it.
Fall damage? Why is there fall damage? Why not copy a good game? Like Sonic. The level designs in Bubsy are just awful. Bubsy is just a Sonic ripoff. Bubsy is just a Sonic ripoff. Sonic ripoff. Sonic ripoff. 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 Sonic ripoff. Ripoff. Sonic ripoff. Sonic ripoff.
Terrible. Bubsy is an awesome franchise, so quit speaking evil. Bubsy is an awesome franchise.
Oh, wait, it's me, it's Chris.
Yeah, I know.
What was that for?
For being a baby and getting yourself possessed.
Be quiet, Tatu. I have to talk to Janitor Jake, and you're interrupting my frequencies.